What does Bitcoin being met with boos at an Ohio State commencement speech tell us about how early we are and how big of an opportunity we have in front of us? Does Bitcoin have a marketing problem? Plus, Gary Gensler and the SEC continue to highlight they don't believe that the decentralized protocol of Ethereum is anything but a security. And once again, the government proves its incompetence by announcing that the Social Security is going to run out a year earlier than expected, which is fitting because just this morning, Stanley Druckenmiller, one of the greatest investors of all time, took to CNBC to share his thoughts and disapproval of the government and how our country is being run right now. And newsflash, it wasn't great. Welcome to Bitcoin Daily. I'm Dante Cook, head of Swan Business. Although I can't say that I've ever taken psychedelic drugs, like Chris Pan, who gave a commencement speech at Ohio State and said that he needed drugs to write the speech. But like Chris Pan, and like most Bitcoiners, we know what it's like to be booed when talking about Bitcoin.
Great investors are open-minded and understand things before other people. So I know this might feel polarizing, but I encourage you to keep an open mind right now. I see Bitcoin as a very misunderstood asset class. I see Bitcoin.
The craziest thing is right before they booed him, he asked them to have an open mind. And regardless of what he said, they continue to still be closed-minded. It's really sad, but the narrative out there isn't that just Bitcoin is bad. It's that there are tokens like ETH and other crypto tokens that are believed to be the future, especially on college campuses. Although these things may be innovations at some point in the future, the reality is that today, they don't follow the same rules and provide the same disclosures as other publicly listed securities. They're allowed to receive all of the benefits without having to pay any of the costs and have any of the burdens that come with being a publicly listed security. Here's what Gary Gensler had to say about this on CNBC.
Ultimately, and I think this is the big question in crypto land right now, is Ethereum a commodity or is Ethereum a security? And therefore, will there one day be an ETF? That's the fundamental question on the table in crypto land. You agree?
Oh, you're the one that's out there asking the questions. All I would say is, to me, the fundamental question is how do we ensure that the American investor is protected? And right now, they're not getting the required or needed disclosures.
And you know why he's so adamant about this? Because we all have a friend who's been exit liquidity before.
All right, dude, I know you're new to all this, but I'm telling you, this thing has the capability to flip Bitcoin, man.
Dude, you can't be serious.
I'm serious, bro. Dude, have I ever steered you wrong?
Dude, yes. Last week, I lost everything.
Dude, live now. Do you want to get rich?
All right, I give. What's the address?
I sent it to you last night, bro.
Dude, this one?
Oh, yeah. That's it. Yeah, pee-pee, poo-poo, Lady McQueen shit.
Man, how much should I put in then?
I'd probably go all in on this one.
All in? Are you sure?
Dude, probably everything you got.
All right, here I go.
Sell.
Oh, you're buying some too?
Yeah, duh.
Sweet. Oh my God, dude, I'm down 70% already. Dude, it just keeps going down.
Dude, the Chinese hedge funds, dude, they're probably gonna buy in soon.
What does that even mean, dude?
Don't worry, dude, it's going up soon.
It just keeps going down.
Just keep dollar cost averaging, bro.
What does that even mean? Did I just get rugged? Dude!
Like Michael Saylor says, if everyone thought that Bitcoin was the future, there would be no opportunity. The only way to make outsized returns as an investor is to be non-consensus and right. This is our 100x opportunity.
If people agree with you when you say, I like Bitcoin, that means it's not a good investment anymore. You understand? At the point when it's not controversial and everybody agrees with you, everybody will own it, the price will be 100x. You won't be able to afford to buy 1% of what you want, right? You want to know it. You don't want them to understand it. Let them take 10 years to figure it out, because that's how you 100x.
And you know what? It's all good. Although we're getting booed from the cheap seats, Bitcoin is still up 53% year to date and is outperforming a lot of other assets and opportunities by a wide margin. We shouldn't buy Bitcoin. We should buy a historic and stable company like Disney. The Marvel movie and theme park company is down over 10% after announcing its earnings. You know what? Maybe we should move into something that's less digital, something that's connected to the physical world. Oh, you mean like Builder's First Source, whose stock is down over 17% today? That's not a penny stock. That's a $20 billion company. But Bitcoin's too volatile, right? Maybe we should put our hope in the fact that we're going to get a Social Security check, or not. Social Security is now expected to run out by 2035, a year earlier than anticipated. Maybe we should invest in Apple, whose biggest announcements at their conference today were bigger screens for their iPads, more expensive products. Oh, don't forget the Apple Pencil Pro, the squeezable pen to allow you to capture all of your life's greatest notes. Steve Jobs is rolling in his grave right now. Maybe we should put trust in our government and fiscal responsibility. Stanley Druckenmiller, one of the greatest investors of all time, whose hedge fund returned 30% a year from 1981 through 2010, gave his thoughts on how he thinks the government is performing right now. And you know what? It's not very good.
Things are going well, and then we totally overspent in terms of fiscally as well in Bidenomics.
Bidenomics, if I was a professor, I'd give them an F. Basically, they misdiagnosed COVID and thought we were going into a depression. The Fed did too. I worried about it too in early days. The Fed eventually pivoted, better late than never. Treasury is still acting like we're in a depression. It's interesting because I've studied the Great Depression, and you had a private sector crippled with debt with basically no new ideas. So interventionist policies were called for and were effective. The private sector could not be more different today than it was in the Great Depression. Their balance sheets are fine, they're healthy, and have you ever seen more innovative ideas that the private sector could take advantage of now? You've got blockchain, you've got AI, you've got the whole thing. All government needed to do was get out of their way and let them innovate. Instead, they've spent and spent and spent. And my new fear now is that spending and the resulting interest rates on the debt that's been created are going to crowd out some of the innovation that otherwise would have taken place. We've got a 7% budget deficit at full employment. It's unheard of. And this is when you've got grid spending, you have defense spending, you have data center spending,
for AI.
And then, of course, you have green.
Yep.
So this spending is going to take place. You're going to build the capital stock. How do you build the capital stock when government is intruding with regulations and all this spending? And it's just sad because I think we're looking at one of the most exciting periods in terms of potential productivity and enhancing investments ever. And why we're spending like we're still in the Great Depression is beyond me. And they haven't stopped, as you know. They're trying to circumvent the Supreme Court to give money to kids who had the opportunity to go to college, who haven't repaid their loans. You know, Harlem Children's Zone, our motto was always, get them into college so they have a shot. These are kids that went into college, and we're talking about spending hundreds of billions of dollars to put in their pockets. I assume it's because of the election. They're now floating ideas for Fannie and Freddie to change the rules so you can refinance. You can take out a second lien mortgage, and you get to keep the rate on the first mortgage at whatever you did during COVID. There's one spending program or another. We don't need spending right now. We just need the government to get out of the way and let the private sector do its thing.
So what are you going to put your trust in? One exciting piece of news that I can share is that there are thousands of Swan private customers who are going to be putting their trust in multi-sig technology. Today, we rolled out our Swan Vault product to our Swan private customers. And again, Swan Private is the one-on-one concierge service that we provide to high net worth investors and businesses here in the United States and also internationally. You get paired with a dedicated Bitcoin advisor who has knowledge and expertise to help you think through inheritance planning, or something right now that a lot of people are taking advantage of, tax loss harvesting, or even things like multi-sig, which is our Swan Vault product. Swan Vault is a collaborative custody product that allows you to hold 2 of 3 keys while Swan holds the other key as a backup in case you lose one of the other keys. Swan has partnered with Blockstream Jade to build an Apple-like experience, the simplest, easiest, safest, and most secure product that's come from years and years of knowledge from Swan building one of the largest open source protocols out there in the world. We brought that experience from Spectre into Swan Vault and into the Swan platform. I've been using the product for months, and it allows you to buy and directly have your stack go into a multi-sig setup. It's a Steve Jobs era Apple product, not like the stuff that we see today. But don't worry, if you're not a high net worth investor or someone who's investing $50,000, $100,000, or $200,000 in Bitcoin, that's okay, because we're going to be rolling out Swan Vault to retail customers very soon. If you're interested in Swan Vault, please send me an email with the subject line Swan Vault to daily@swanbitcoin.com, and I'll be sure to get you connected and also on the list to make sure you're one of the first customers to get this when we go worldwide with it. And with that, we're signing off for today. This is Dante Cook with Swan.com. Happy stacking.